What's up, YouTube? My name is Ghrei, and I'm here with a brand new challenge video for you guys today! I've had so much positive feedback from the Deoxys attack form solo run that I decided to make another one. Except this time, instead of being a clean run, for the most part, I'm making this as much of a challenge as I can. Here are the rules for this challenge, summarized because you know them by now. No Pokemon in battle except Deoxys defense form, no items in battle are allowed unless held, and I can catch all the Pokemon I want as long as they don't see the light of day in Pokemon fights. I also made every Pokemon able to use every HM, so that means Deoxys is banned from learning any of those moves. There will be one additional rule for this run though, since I know Toxic Stall is a common tactic for defensive Mons. Deoxys will only be able to use attacking moves. Yeah, this may just be a challenge. I have no idea if I'll be able to get through the Elite Four with the Deoxys defense form even at level 100, but I'm gonna do my best to try. I'm writing this script as I play through the game, so I don't know if I've won yet. Do you guys think I can do it? Comment down below! And without further ado, let it begin! We started off in Pallet Town and trekked into the grass just outside of it. We got about one step in before Oak stopped us and dragged us to his laboratory before offering a magical entity that science has yet to explain to us. We chose the chonkiest boy and named him as such. Our rival chose the one nobody loves and immediately demanded we fight him. This fight was genuinely uninteresting. Tutorial, lack of damage output on his end. We finished off Bulbasaur with a combo of Wrap and Nightshade. Our rival ran away in a huff as we made our way into the grass successfully this time. We grinded Chonk to level 10 before continuing to the Pokemart. We got Oak's parcel from the store owner and delivered it to the professor safe and sound. He in turn gave my rival and I Pokedexes. I listened to my rival this time and didn't go see his sister, instead grinding up to level 15 before going after the optional rival battle. Bingus began with a Pidgey which landed an annoying sand attack on us, otherwise doing next to nothing. His Bulbasaur didn't fare much better, winning us the fight. We made our way through the Viridian Forest and arrived in Pewter City, going directly to Brock's gym. After slaying his lackey, we laid into Brock himself. Nothing awesome to report here, honestly. Couple Nightshades and his team was shattered. We headed on through Mount Moon, kicking the crap out of the heretic at the end and claiming our birthright. Lord Dome's remains. After exiting, we taught Mega Punch to Chonk and went after our rival. Again, there just isn't a lot to report here. His Pidgeotto used Sand Attack again, which was annoying, but we essentially swept his butt. We crossed Nugget Bridge, collected our Nuggy and beat the crap out of the guy who gave it to us. Afterwards, we strolled into Bill's house, helped him undo his voodoo magic, and got ourselves a ticket for a party cruise. Next up, Misty. Her gym was a pain in the arse. Her Staryu was no problem. I just used Mega Punch and one-shot the thing, but her Starmie! The first and second times I attempted the gym, I lost because I got confused, and every time I'd get close to knocking out Starmie, she'd use Recover or just slam down her super potion. Luckily, third time's the charm, and I managed to defeat her Starmie with a couple Mega Punches and knockoffs. After getting the gym badge, we taught Chonk Water Pulse and Secret Power, before proceeding to beat the ever-loving crap out of a Team Rocket grunt who took a Dig TM. We caught ourselves an HM slave on our way to Vermilion City. Upon arrival, we claimed our bike voucher, trading it quickly for a bike, and hopped into the SS Anne. After teaching Chonk Brick Break, we found Pingus deep below deck, who challenged us to another battle, and got completely eviscerated. We went to see the captain in his quarters, where we rubbed his back until he didn't need to spew all over the floor as much. He gave us Cut, which we immediately shoved down our HM slave's throat. We bid farewell to the SS Anne before heading over to the gym. I prepped myself for a long time to spend on these electric puzzles, which always took me forever in the... We take those. Lieutenant Surge was a pushover. We hit a road bump with his Raichu, getting fully paralyzed 3 times and missing an attack before finally annihilating the damned rat. It was at this time that I realized the only reason I was winning so easily was because I was beating every trainer possible in every area I came across. A habit I'd follow for the remainder of the run. We got our badge, then went back to Route 2 to get the HM for Flash, teaching it to our HM slave. We rushed walked back to Rock Tunnel afterwards, trekking through into Lavender Town. This visit was short-lived since we headed directly to Celadon City from there. We went to the game corner to take down the rockets collected there and fought Giovanni for the first time. We straight up swept the man who stood zero chance. He crapped out the self-scope which we stashed in our bag using a plastic glove. We dashed over to one of the taller buildings in Celadon, receiving tea from a nice lady there and giving it to the guards so we were able to travel between Saffron City and the 4 cities connected to it without resistance. We went back to battle Erica and melted the mind of all of her Pokemon. It wasn't even really a fight. We then got the Fly HM from the hidden house next to Cycling Road before taking the Fighting Dojo's lunch money. I made the Pokemon they gave me an HM slave to send a message. After that, we went back to Lavender Town and took on our rival in the Pokemon Tower. Bingus was pummeled down with nothing interesting going down in the battle. We beat down Team Rocket, saved Fuji, got the Pokeflute, killed one Snorlax, then arrived in Fuchsia City. We dropped by the Safari Zone and got Surf and the Warden's Gold Teeth, which we then traded in for the Strength HM. We taught both new HMs to Weepinbell, then taught Fly to Hitmonlee. Following this, we headed inside the Fuchsia City gym, where Koga laid in wait for us. His battle was just as easy as I'd expected it to be, and we breezed through his whole team. Next up was the Silphco Showdown, and Chonk was 110% ready for any bullshit that could be thrown our way. We slaughtered more rocket grunts in droves until we finally came to the part that knocked me for a loop in my last playthrough of this game, our Sylph rival battle. Bingus actually put up a solid amount of resistance against us, even managing to get us paralyzed via Synchronize, but we managed to scrape by in yellow health. Giovanni's fight was next, and it was a complete joke. He stood zero chance. We had a countermeasure for every Pokemon he had. Then came Sabrina's gym, and I was nervous about it. Was this going to be what got me down in this run? I was shaking when I walked into her gym. Confidence low. I walked up to her, pressed A, and the battle was anticlimactic. I swept her entire team with secret power. I thought I'd have at least a little trouble with her Alakazam after our rival fight, but it didn't live to tell the tale of the chonkiest lad. We flew back to Pallet Town, surfed across the ocean, and landed on Cinnabar Island. We went into the gym and wrecked face until we got to Blaine. We knocked out his Growlithe easily enough, but his Arcanine ate a Psychic and slammed us with a Fire Blast, which also burned us. He healed up Arcanine and we got RNGesus on our side by confusing the thing, but the damage was done. The burn wore us down over a few turns and his Rapidash finished the job with another attack, and we received our first L in a good while. We bounced right back, however, getting much luckier this time. Growlithe went down in one hit and we didn't get burned by Arcanine, who was still a 2-shot. Finally, we one-shot his Ponyta and Rapidash both, earning us the Volcano badge. Bill asked us to go to some islands or whatever, but I ain't about that life. Our last stop was Viridian City to duke it out with Giovanni one last time. The fight was no big surprise, a letdown. We swept him under the rug and claimed our final badge, stopping by Oak's aid to get the item finder and then get the leftovers. We gave it to Chonk before entering combat with Bingus for the penultimate time. My fears were recognized when his Pokemon ate up hits from Chonk, around 20 or more levels higher than any individual one our rival had. Although we won, it told me that I'd clearly need to grind more to get through the league with enough PP for us to win. We made it through Victory Road, stocked up on full restores for in-between battles, made sure we had ethers and elixirs galore, deposited our HM slaves, and entered the league. First up to the plate was Lorelei, who began with her Dugong. After a Brick Break left it with just a sliver of health left, she fully healed it as we landed a Water Pulse to get Brick Break into kill range. She swapped out to Lapras, only to eat another 2 Brick Breaks from Chonk. She sent Dugong back out, which was Booty Blasted with Brick Break, and afterwards came her Quaisar, who fell to 2 Brick Breaks, but not before getting a double Protect. Fourth up was her Slowbro, which took a critical hit from Secret Power, which also paralyzed it. The follow-up Secret Power barely missed the KO, and Lorelei used a full restore on Slowbro, who ate up another Secret Power before falling to a critical one. Finally came Jinx, who fell into the red with one last Secret Power that also got a paralysis. However, it didn't stay paralyzed and retaliated with Ice Punch, which froze Chonk. Luckily for us, we de-thawed the very next turn and finished the battle with a Water Pulse. Next up was Bruno, who said something about grinding me with his hoo-ha or something. He was a cakewalk. Psychics and Water Pulses just swept his entire team under of the rug. Really nothing to write home about. Third was Agatha, who was just as easy. She was simply swept by Psychic, although a few times I could have sworn her Gengars should have lived. Then again, I've never used Defense Form Deoxys before, so maybe it has a higher attack than I give it credit for. Either way, the final member of the Elite Four was Lance. It was at this point that I realized I had 0 counters for his Dragonite. His Gyarados had me concerned as well. However, his Gyarados only got the chance to hit me with a Dragon Rage, which had me surprised. I'd think it'd slam me with something way more dangerous. Next up was Aerodactyl, who was downed with 2 Water Pulses. It only tried using a Scary Face against us, which wound up missing. Then came his Dragonite, who got smashed with a critical secret power. It used Outrage on us twice, once being a critical hit and taking a massive chunk out of our health. We finished it off with a Psychic though, my biggest fear now defeated. His 2 Dragonair didn't even get to attack us using Safeguard and Thunder Wave. They were both knocked out by 1 secret power and 1 Psychic each. It was the final showdown with our rival, the Ultimate Championships. Bingus began with his Pidgeot like always. It used Aerial Ace on us, which did next to nothing, especially with our leftovers. We took it down easily with 2 Psychics. Next up was yet another Gyarados, which gave me a wee bit of anxiety. However, as the others before it, the Danger Noodle resorted to Dragon Rage, doing ultimately minimal damage to Chunk. Then came Arcanine, who got a second Intimidate on us, severely reducing Secret Power's damage. We hit it with a Water Pulse, which made it confused, but it pulled through and slammed us with a critical Flamethrower, knocking us into the yellow. Panicking slightly, I used another Water Pulse, only to have the thing live on a sliver. Thank Arceus above, it bonked itself, leading our rival to yeet out his starter. Bingus had the Prehistoric Plant eat up a Psychic, another of his mons living on only a sliver, and it wasted its 1 chance at life on Sunny Day. Despite our rival healing with a berry and a full restore, we bopped it with a secret power and twisted it with a Psychic, knocking out the Bulbous Boy. Second to last was Alakazam, and boy, was it a doozy. He began with a Psychic and I with a secret power, doing about the same to each of the mons involved. Then Chonk used secret power again, only for the Alakazam to put up a Reflect. Luckily, Brick Break shatters those barriers, which is exactly what I used. Alakazam used a Psychic, which didn't do much. Our rival healed up Alakazam with another full restore, making our secret power still leave Alakazam in the green. Unbelievably, our next secret power was the last, critting the spoon-wielding Maniac and knocking Bingus down a peg. His final mon was Rhydon, who was easily taken down with 1 big ol' Water Pulse to the schnoz. With that, our rival feeling dejected and handing the title over to us, I watched as Chonk was induced into the Hall of Fame and our rival's ugly mug was permanently chiseled into the Wall of Shame. So, yeah, turns out you can beat Pokemon LeafGreen with just a Deoxys defense form. Thank you all so much for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was edited by my good friend and excellent helper, Plaske, however you pronounce it. I'm bad with names. He's gonna add a pronunciation right here.
Plaske. Plaske. Pronounce it however you want. I really don't mind.
Whose channel you should seriously check into down below. Legit, he is incredible. Thanks again, you beautiful people, and we'll see you in the next challenge where things start to heat up. Goodbye!